So my name is Adam Devine. I am the owner of Devine Concepts here in Naples, Florida. I am also the head installer, salesman, sole proprietor, head janitor, you name it. I wear all of the hats. From the front of the shop to the back of the shop, all my clients are dealing with me. I'm a one-man band at the moment, but still seeking for talented individuals to help join the team, as I know a lot of us are. Some of the unique talents and experiences that I bring to the team after 21 years of being in this industry and 4 years having my own business here in Naples is I am a MECP expert, uh, previously master certified technician. I've been with the program for over 20 years now, as well as I am a subject matter expert. So when we were doing the old style analog books, I would help and write and contribute to those books. And then I also enjoy helping teach out at Knowledge Fest events, whether it be training and installation and fabrication classes, management or branding, or we just did one called the 12-Volt Insight, which is a unique perspective from the sales floor to the bay to the owner and manager to kind of wearing every hat. And being able to look through the lens of each one of those and how they all meld together. So Devine Concepts is located right off of Old US 41, which is a main street down here. We are located in the Sunburst Plaza, right off the main road. So we have our marquee up here and signage. So this is our view from the street of the building, and we'll head into the parking lot. It's a double marquee, so if you miss it from one side, whether you're going northbound or southbound, it shows Devine Concepts up there and lets them know we're right inside this plaza. Now into the plaza, Devine Concepts is tucked over back here in the corner. We have suites 9 and 10 now, so let's get up there a little quicker. So here we are out at the front of Devine Concepts. So we have our original location, which is Suite 9, and our expansion, which is now Suite 10. We're going to end up touching up and redoing our lettering and logos on the front window to accommodate both windows. Right now we've just got Suite 9 marked out, so clients don't try and come in the wrong side. On the front of our window, we're going to have our main logo, our website, our phone number, our business hours, which are going to be Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday, 10 to 4, and closed on Sunday. And some of the services we offer, such as car audio and video, marine audio and video, factory integration, remote start, custom fabrication, system tuning, GPS, tracking, and Sirius XM, and obviously much more. And you can see our demo came in hidden up here in the showroom. So let's head inside. Here we are back behind Devine Concepts before we do our walkthrough on the front. This is back behind our install area. So once again, we have Suites 9 and Suites 10. So we have 2 bay doors. We have a locked key box back here if clients want to drop off their vehicle. And we have adequate parking back here as well. A lot of the tenants really don't park back here pretty much, so we usually have a lot of space back here. And soon we're going to expand and probably put a bigger key box right over here. Get rid of this old one right here, so that way we have selectable options for client being able to pick up after hours as well as drop off before hours. So as we walk in to your front door of Devine Concepts, this is our floor space. So our showroom is about 500 square feet. Not a huge showroom, but we do have a showroom over on the other side on Suite 10 that we're working on. So to show you our displays, a lot of our displays are built in-house. We started with our Phoenix Gold display and then built 3 clones in-house for Audio Frog, Hertz, and Rockford. We have our Rockford Marine display, our CompuStar and Rodenzo display. And over here on the other side, we have our EchoMaster display for safety and backup cameras. We have a waiting area, which has just got 2 leather chairs, water, some snacks and candy, back issues of Mobile Electronics magazine. Everybody wants to read those, so we got a stack of them. So over here would be our sales counter and consultation area. Not so much a counter, more of a sitting desk, you know, a little bit more intimate feeling than having a client just kind of be at a stand-up counter and have them just stand and wait. Generally, when we go over proposals or estimates, we really kind of go into fine detail on what the expectation is, what it's going to look like, what their proposal is going to be like, so we can either display it on the iMac, or we can even use our square point of sale reader out here and double the display off of our monitor, so the client's not having to bend their head around and look at our monitor. We can put whatever we want on the solitary monitor to show them products or examples of installation or whatever we're reviewing at the time. Also, up top, we have a scrolling slideshow that always goes through our Apple TV. So any photos that we watermark and utilize for our social media instantly get added into this iWatermark folder, and so we don't have to really update it. It always stays up to date with current vehicles that we've done, vehicles we've done in the past, installs we've done, testing. So it will randomly continue to scroll through throughout the day and switch to different videos, different photos, different builds, different installs, highlight product, and it all just keeps up to date on its own. So in terms of customer-facing signage, we have our MECP supporter logo. We got a number of plaques that we ordered from That's Great News, from highlights being in Mobile Electronics magazine. I think it's a great way for just a few $100s to really highlight your brand and your company. In my opinion, it's way better than a $100 Instagram or Facebook ad. We have our MECP certifications, our MEA awards and trophies, Best of Naples. Then we have some literature for Vice-Tech, Stinger, a couple local shops, Naples Auto Armor and Naples Tint. We have a Rodenzo placard and Escort little monitor displays. Back issues of Mobile Electronics magazine, our drone stanchion, our Stinger X-Link information, and over on the other side we have our CompuStar display and literature and our Rodenzo Platinum display with brochures. We have a restroom available for clients, which is right through our entryway towards the bay here and off to the right. So if we come in our restroom, it's all painted the same as the bay. We have a couple things hanging up in here from the year we grand opened, just some building photos. Same paint scheme as the bay, a Mobile Electronics magazine article that we did on a SL. And we redid and replaced the vanity, added some wood flooring that we had left over from doing the showroom. Always have a clean, neat, organized restroom. So one unique feature I'd say about our showroom and our displays is the way I set it up is to have one, to be able to actively compare cross between brands, not just the brands that are on the solitary display. So I did that and achieved that by we use our iPad with Spotify on it, so that way we can pick a song that the client likes, play it at Spotify's high res, but then be able to actively switch. So if we were to, let's say, go up to the Audio Frog display here, and we'll start the music. So we can give our demo and obviously switch between top, middle, and then drop it down the line. But what happens when you want to compare, let's say, the AudioFrog GB60s to a pair of Millis? So all we have to do is walk up, hit pause and play, and it switches right over. So the one thing that I've noticed over the years is it's very easy for your ears to forget exactly what you just heard or what you thought sounded great. So when we do an art of the demo, we'll obviously do top-down selling. We'll start with our high level and then work our way down, going through each switch. And then we tell our customer to tell us to stop rolling the switch when they like it. Could be at the top, could be at the bottom, could be somewhere in the middle. We do that on each display. We'll walk through and do a demo, and they'll pick one speaker out of each display. And then after we pick that one speaker out of each display, we can actively hop from each display and compare all 4 displays with the one speaker that they chose. So the nice part is it doesn't give their ears enough time to forget the difference between one display and the next before moving on. So what they thought they loved best in the AudioFrog or the Hertz or the PG display or the Rockford display, which they thought they were in love with, when they hear the comparison against all 4, it allows them to really drill down that decision really fast, and what they thought they wanted, they instantly change their mind and they say, nope, that's the one that I want, and know exactly which one to go to. So it's a great setup. It's clean. There's no pricing on any of our displays, and it's not because we're lazy or we don't want to put pricing on there and have it change. But the reason why we're a boutique shop and a boutique dealer is the concierge experience that you have when you come into our location. So if you want to know about the AudioFrog GB60s, or if you want to know about our Milli Pros, or if you want to know about the TI3s and PG, or the Rockford speakers, we're your go-to. So we're your smart friend, and we're here to give you that art of the demo and show you the differences between all the different equipment, all the different speakers, amplifiers, and make sure that we're picking the appropriate equipment to meet your needs. So now our showroom extension is now going to be part of our new side 2. So we've got the blow-through done, and we've got our Porsche Cayman 981 as our demo vehicle. So it's sitting right up here in the front glass. This is our travel banner. It may not permanently stay there, but it is here right now. That's usually what we bring out to shows and events to put by our tent and stanchions. Goes over everything that we offer. So you can see that we're still highly under construction, still doing a lot, but a lot has changed since even our top 50 video submission. So far on the Cayman, we've added a ZZ2 CarPlay interface module, which is great for our clients down here. A lot of them have either 911s, Carreras, Boxsters, Caymans, and they don't daily drive them as much because maybe they're 12 or 13s and don't have the luxuries and the features that the newer vehicles have. So they don't end up being their daily driver. So to show them what's possible, we went ahead and added a rear backup camera to the factory PCM screen. We also added a front camera as well. That seems to be a giant problem down here in Southwest Florida. A lot of low-hanging cars and a lot of crushed front ends from people running over parking stones. So we just want to show them that it is possible for them to add a front and rear camera to their vehicle. We did a little other modifications. We went ahead and switched out the whole interior from a 2016 GT4. So we've got the contrasting stitch with the Alcantara headliner, A-pillars, added sports chrono to the dash, new door panels, knee bolster, glove box, you name it, we changed it out, center console. So there's more to come. We've got a rear diffuser coming for the back end here, a new exhaust, a GT4 front end, and then She's nicknamed Kelly due to Kelly Green, one of my favorite colors. Similar to Porsche Lizard Green, also me being an Irishman, Kelly Green is obviously my favorite. So eventually, Kelly here will be wrapped Kelly Green or Porsche Lizard Green or whatever color you want to call it. But that's the color she's changing to. She's got new rims and tires coming. So it'll be a lot of fun. It's a car that we take out a lot. It's my daily drive. It's also what we take to Cars and Coffee events. We have just since partnered up with Porsche of Naples to host the 2022 Naples Motor Fest. So we are the presenting sponsor along with Porsche of Naples, which means our brand and logo will be on all of the trophies, signage, literature, flyers, plastic cups, everything that's out there at the event. It's a really big event here every year. This will be our 4th year sponsoring it, and it's a great time. Obviously, we still got some renovation to go in the new installation area off to the back here. We have a secondary bathroom, which will probably be a technician or installer bathroom. This one's still holding on some light fixtures that need to go back up in the ceiling, but we're going to do the same renovations that we did on the first side over on this side, maybe add some storage for some cleaning products, but change out the vanity, trim out the mirror, new light fixture, everything that we did on the other side. So in terms of employee views, employee facing only areas, there really isn't many here at Devine Concepts. The only employee view that typically customers aren't going to be behind is behind the desk here. So if we're standing behind the desk here, it gives us kind of a nice little overview of speaking and working with our clients. And I will take you to our temporary break room. So let's walk back over here. So this is it for right now. This is our temporary break room. We've got our mini fridge, toaster oven, convection, and microwave. Not much in terms of employee areas as far as break or sitting, but it's just myself. So in time, we will probably designate a employee kind of area, maybe off in this little section right here, maybe do a little kitchenette or something like that if we end up with a bigger team, which we hope to soon. But just like everybody else, trying to find technicians right now is a difficult task. So in terms of our installation or installer's view, coming from the showroom back into the install bay, we have another TV mounted up top, or we can still have it rolling through the slideshow or have on Apple TV, music, DirecTV, so forth. Over here in the wood shop and fab area, we have map gas torches, spray guns, all of our different tapes and adhesives, clamps, saws, respirators. The fun part, all of our mobile solution router bits and templates. We got 2 Jessam master lifts with Porter Cable 892 routers in them, Mobile Solutions dust buckets and IVAC blast skates in all of them. We have our interior and exterior protection film, more Mobile Solution templates spread the wall down at the back. Then under here we have scrap wood and scrap acrylic, and we have an air hose reel off to the side. A 3rd router lift out here on the island for any big pieces. Once again, another Porter Cable 892, which it's rare to have those now. I wish I would have bought a couple extra. Over on the other side, we have our 3 horsepower saw stop 52-inch rip with the vac hose up on the top. We've got a small mini cubby down at the bottom for mock-up sticks, acrylic, PVC sheets that are pre-cut. Up on the wall here, we have our Mobile Solution shields, T-squares, rulers, welding table, MIG welder, pan brake, battery float and test charger, 3D printer, which we just acquired and we've been playing a lot with and hope to have a lot of cool designs come out of that guy. We have our shop press or drill press, our computer in the back. We've got dual monitors so that way we can design on one, either for the 3D printer or Infusion 360 or CAD. We have our laser, which is a 60 watt CO2 laser. We've been able to make a lot of great stuff with that. We also have the Mobile Solutions 3D shaper, so we can do a little bit of 3D modeling as well. In terms of dust collection, we went with a dual stage dust collector. It is your standard Harbor Freight dust collector, but adding the Oneida, and if I'm saying that or pronouncing that right, Oneida, Cyclone makes a huge difference. So obviously we keep our bay extremely clean, but having those blast gates and set up correctly and having all that dust collection, only one tool being on at a time, and only the finest fibers actually make it to this bag. Everything else basically goes into the Cyclone. There's plenty of suction to go ahead and handle any job, and it keeps all of our countertops nice, neat, and clean. Keeps everything from getting airborne and having to have air filtration. It's just a really nice setup. We've got a Cobalt 60-gallon air tank hiding in the back there. Over to the other side of our shop, we have two storage cabinets which have got a surplus of extra supplies in them. So inside here we have resins, product cleaners, body fillers, miscellaneous hardware, machine hardware, paint cups, buffers, extra T-handles and spray cans, and tapes. And then over on this side here, we have more kind of maintenance repair stuff for the actual shop. So extension cords, miscellaneous hardware, paint, and sandbags for when we go out to shows and events, so that way our tent or canopy doesn't fly away. So over here on the other side, we have our bench grinder and built-in tool storage. So we built a counter and built in 3 of the US General toolboxes. And then above that, we made our own wire spool racks to go ahead and hold 4 gauge, 8 gauge, speaker wire, primary wire, all of our Tech Flex. Up top, we're going to have all of our installation kits, interconnects, fuse and distribution blocks, and then miscellaneous harnesses and parts for cars that we either ordered in, didn't use, or have extra of on hand. We have storehouses with pretty much every fuse that's available on the market, from ATC to Mini A&L to you name it, old style German fuses, because we see a lot of 60s Mercedes-Benz here every once in a while, and a lot of machined hardware of all different sizes, shapes, lengths, no self-tappers. We try to stick to tap and threading or nut certs. And then right past all of our toolboxes, we have a slop sink back in the corner there, and our upholstery station. And we've got rolls of upholstery and carpet hanging up above it. To the side of that, we've got our wood storage. And we did a vertical wood storage to save space. It holds 4x8 sheets. And we've got our pneumatic press and water fountain. And then we picked up this paint rack, and I think I'm going to order a couple more of those because it's a great way to organize all of your SEM paint or easily accessible cleaning products without having to go dig through a cabinet and find them. So really liking that addition. And that's pretty much it for the installation in Bay Area over on Suite 9 side. We'll hop back over to Suite 10. And we'll go through the pass-through here. And as I said, Suite 10 is still a work in progress. We've got somebody coming out looking at replacing the drop ceiling we had to rip down to pull down the office that was originally here. You can still kind of see the line from where the walls were. So we pulled that office out of there. Unfortunately, the drop ceiling was a foot lower inside that office, so it had to go. But we'll be able to bring vehicles in through this bay door and park one probably at a 45 right here, one at a 45 right beside it. If we have a long-term build going on, we could always keep it up in the front where we keep the demo vehicle if it's going to be a long-term stay. We're also looking to probably add a small lift over here on this side. So, installation area number 2 underway. So for our business summary, I'd have to say the atmosphere for Devine Concepts is a boutique retail style establishment. It's very personal and one-on-one. It's not like your typical big kind of retailer where there's a lot going along or a lot of people in and out, or you're dealing with multiple staff. We have kind of a unique experience that way where our clients get to deal with me from the second they walk through the door to the day they leave with their vehicle to the feedback and review afterwards. Even when we did have an apprentice, it was still somewhat that way. We like to tailor each and every individual client's experience and make it personal. So spending the time with them to find out kind of who they are, what they like to do, what really drove them here to our location, and make sure that not only that we meet their expectations, but that we exceed them. Our store hours, as we discussed, coming in through the door are Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday, 10 to 4, which typically ends up being 6 o'clock or later. Happens a lot during the week as well. Sunday is the only day that we're closed, and even that, we haven't been abiding by very much. Just like all of us in the industry, been working ourselves to death, which is an absolutely awesome thing to be in that position. So Sunday I've been utilizing as estimate and proposal day, either working from home, or we utilize Sunday as a great day to accomplish any warranty work. Currently, as I record this video, we are now booked out until March 18th. So I don't ever want a client to have to wait any more than, I'd say, a week to 2 weeks at most if there's a warranty issue on their vehicle. I don't care how big or how small. It's all about the customer experience, and it's all about customer satisfaction. So I will gladly come in here any day on a Sunday that we're closed and utilize that close time or downtime to take care of the client and rectify whatever issue they may be having, whether it's faulty equipment or a bad battery or a channel went out on their amp or a bad pair of speakers. We will put aside whatever we're doing to make sure that the client gets taken care of first. As far as our warranty and guarantee policy, we have a lifetime workmanship warranty on all of our installations, and that's transferable from one client to the other, so for the long of the life of the car. As far as product, we cover obviously the standard manufacturer's warranty guidelines in terms of product. And as far as returns go, as long as the product has not been opened or used and it's an active SKU and a current receipt, I will return it 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Case by case basis, anything after 90 days. But if they're willing to come in here and exchange it or want something different, we understand that kind of life can get away from you at times. But 99% of the time, that's never going to be an issue. as 99% of our sales have services attached to it. I can only maybe count last fiscal year half a dozen transactions that we completed that services weren't attached to it. So product returns aren't something that we see very often, if at all. Our in-store greetings and phone greetings, every client gets greeted within 30 seconds of them coming into the store. We have door buzzers, so I know as soon as somebody walks through the front door, if I'm under a dash or if I'm working on a car or I'm with another client, I make sure I take the opportunity to excuse myself from either the client that I'm working with and ask their permission to go greet the new client that walked in, find out what they're in here for, what their needs are, and either give them some literature and ask if it'd be okay if they would like to wait or if they would like to come back and schedule a different consultation time so that way we can spend more time with them. It really depends on what they came in for. As far as our phone greeting, it's every client, every time. I try to do 3 to 4 rings, if not less, but we greet every client over the phone the exact same way, which is thank you for calling Devine Concepts. This is Adam. How may I help you? Nothing changes there. Cleaning and maintenance schedule for the shop is daily. If you have downtime, you should be cleaning, which you shouldn't have any downtime, but every night the install bay gets swept, mopped, cleaned, all the counters cleaned. The showroom gets swept, mopped. Same thing with our restroom. All of our displays get dusted every day. If you stay on top of it every day, it's a minimal task. It takes 20 minutes, half an hour at closing to accomplish those tasks, and really having that clean and bright showroom, clean and bright install bay, to where it looks like a surgical suite to most clients and consumers who don't have that perception of an install bay or a shop being this clean and organized, really will win over your clients hands down. So when it comes to staff growth and training, the curriculum that we always follow and have always followed, and it's what I cut my teeth with and always has been, is MECP. So when we had our apprentice here last year before we lost him, we started bringing him through the MECP program. The nice part is no longer do technicians have to carry around these heavy analog books. They can now come into the 21st century with the digital platform. So the digital platform is absolutely amazing. I'm very proud of my friend Chris Bula for taking this and taking the bull by the horns and really making this happen. I think this is a game changer for the newer generation of technicians and installers that are kind of coming down the pipeline. I don't want to be like a back in my day type thing, but back in my day, yeah, we had no problem reading the textbooks. The newer generation wants to be on their phone or wants to be on their tablet or wants to learn on their computer, which is fine. Everybody has a different style and method that a way that they like to learn. Either they're visual or auditory or hands-on. And this kind of gives a mixture of all of those. So him moving this platform from the analog age over into the digital age, I think is a huge, huge support. And then the other huge benefit of that, not only is it making it easier for technicians to get certified, qualified, trained, learn the fundamentals, but keeping the content current is going to be something that is key with the platform moving to digital. So before, the reversions of the books would come out maybe every 4 years. With the way technology changes, IC chips, microchips, the way vehicles architecture and electrical systems are changing, you can't wait 4 years anymore. So having that new information, having it stay relevant and current is absolutely huge. And being to now have a digital platform for that and recertification every year can really touch on those things that have changed or evolved in the automotive or electrical industry, and making sure that the respective technicians and installers out there understand what adaptations have changed and what things have changed to make integration successful. And if they're not paying attention to that educational aspect of it, they're going to be left behind. Education is a huge, huge part of me, my personal growth, my business, and anybody who works under our umbrella. And knowledge is power. It's one thing that you have to have that fundamental and skill set, because the way that we did things in the 90s isn't so much as relevant today. In the 90s, there was a nice heavy analog wire going to almost everything in the vehicle, and it was simplistic. If you knew DC electrical or low voltage, there's relays and small transistors, and not a whole lot else after that. A lot of just regular switches. Now everything is CAN bus or data controlled or fiber optic or most. And being able to properly integrate into those devices without causing any type of issues or malfunctions is a key role for 12-volt integration moving forward. Having a lot of newer vehicles come into our establishment here, we've become the guinea pigs for a lot of the newer stuff that comes out. I had partnered with Matt Schaefer. We had a Tesla Model S Plaid in here, and between the two of us, we had devised, he had to come up with a solution for an accessory or trigger, as well as to step the voltage down from the 15.5 lithium to an operating voltage that would be correct. So on my side, I've also been working on a Arduino that does the same thing to give us a switched accessory in those electric vehicles that may not have any type of accessory anymore. No more fuse box, no more power outlet. They're all E-fuses, or the key fob is just a plastic card with an RFID chip in it, or there's going to be some technical challenges coming in on these EV vehicles, as well as we see the transition from 12 volt into 24 or 48 volt. I think is going to be awesome. Our normal 12 volt legacy products will start phasing out, and we'll start seeing newer stuff probably in the next 10 years, I'd assume, as the platform and automotive industry changes. So that's nothing but a positive for us going forward. We just have to have that education and foundation to be able to manipulate and work with inside that new electrical architecture. So knowledge is extremely, extremely important. Don't take it for granted, because you don't want to be the guy on the sidelines with the new vehicle in your shop and not understanding on how to work on it or how to be able to assist them. For the MECP program, for our incentives for our technicians, as they advance in certification, their salary will advance. Their salary will increase year over year. I don't believe in salary caps, especially coming from a big box retail world. I believe if you put forth the effort and you, at the end of the year, can say that you've made improvements on yourself, then I believe that you deserve a raise for that. You have, and I explained this to my apprentice early on, is your salary is in your own control. And what I mean by that is, are you the kind of person who's passionate and desire keeps you learning after hours? And I understand everybody has to have a personal life, but you have to be thirsty. You have to, there's only so much time in the day, there's only so many hours in the day for you to be able to educate and train during the day while still also having to complete your 9-to-5 job. So you have to be able to put some of that personal time aside to advance in your own knowledge and expertise. So it all goes back to how thirsty, how bad do you want it? And if you have a technician or an installer that is doing their due diligence and maybe learning CAD on the side, or 3D modeling, or Cut 2D, or teaching themselves another software so that they can use the laser or the equipment in the back, mobile solutions trainings, knowledge fest trainings, Kingpin University, Audio Frog University, the Installer Institute. There's so many resources available to people inside our industry. It's silly not to take advantage of it. All those curriculum out there are to make you more profitable, more efficient, a better installer, a better manager, a better technician. I think we have probably one of the most supportive industries I know of. I don't think any other industry, and I could be wrong, goes to the extent that we do inside our small 12-volt world to help each other, make sure that we're doing stuff up to par and trying to bring the rest of the industry along with us. So trying to reverse that race to zero. And that's my part, and what I try to do is educate and reverse that race to zero, so we're bringing it back to more of a skilled and trade where it's respected, and they don't think of a car audio shop as just a place where some kids go and make their cars rattle and loud and obnoxious. The mobile electronics category has expanded tenfold from that, between safety and security products to audio, video, marine equipment, side-by-sides, radar and laser. The category is ever expanding, and you're seeing a lot of 12-volt professionals get into the trimming aspect of it. And hot rods, there's a lot of money to be made, and there's a lot of clients in that demographic that can utilize the resources and the intelligence that the mobile electronics community has to create amazing parts. We've got guys that have 3D printers now that can 3D print an entire bumper or a full center console or dashboard in one go. It's absolutely phenomenal and amazing to watch what's changed and transpired from jigsaws and palm sanders and routers into lasers and plasma cutters and 3D printers, and now we're watching manufactured and OE kind of one-off parts come out of the 12-volt industry at a level that, in my opinion, coincides and competes against with what comes out of the factory. So more and more, we're allowing clients to see the talents of the individuals that are in our industry and know that they can come out with a personalized vehicle, not just customized, a personalized vehicle that's made for them and designed for them by us, which I think is a huge advantage that we have in this industry, that it's ever changing. Speakers are always going to be maybe the bread and butter of your establishment, but you can see the transition coming, and the personalization of vehicles and the branding is going to be, in my opinion, switching more to automotive customization experts or automotive personalization experts than just your typical car audio installer. So when it comes to sales and marketing, we're very specific on how we do our marketing approach. It's more boots on the ground and local demographic than I'd say national or utilizing social media. I've tried in the past different social media marketing, whether it's through Facebook or Instagram or YouTube ads or Google ads, and really just didn't see the return on investment that I thought I would. So I strayed away from those. We self-promote with social media and trying to follow the culture of it. So obviously we talked about this at Knowledge Fest in Dallas about a month ago, about Facebook being the kind of dinosaur of the social media world, which is true. We use it a lot in the 12-volt world, but your TikTok and your Snapchat and your newer stuff is stuff that we're trying to delve into and advertise ourselves on. and engage new followers, pull in a new demographic, and brand exposure is always a big thing with that. I'd say with the social media marketing, our effectiveness on that really doesn't draw the clientele in here as much as our customer retention practices and word of mouth does. So with every client, every time, every install, whether it be 3 days or 5 days post install, we take the time to call every client back and ask how they're enjoying their product or enjoying whatever service we provided for them, and have they come up with any questions. We do a pretty lengthy art of the demo after every installation, and it is a lot to download, and it is a lot of new technology depending on what they've got. And they may not have the questions while they're sitting with you there in the car, but they're going to come up with questions after the hand or after the fact. And a lot of clients aren't going to feel comfortable calling you back and asking you those questions. So us taking the initiative to call that client after 3 or 5 days and say, how are you doing, ma'am, sir? This is Adam from Devine Concepts. I just wanted to follow up with you, see how you're enjoying your new equipment, install, service, so forth. Have you come up with any questions since our demonstration and since we worked with you? I know it was a lot to take in, and a lot of the times they're absolutely thrilled because they are embarrassed half the time because you spent that amount of time with them to really help educate them before they left the door, that they feel like they're wasting your time if they call back and ask you more questions. But I emphasize it and implore it. I tell clients, do not hesitate. I want you to call us if you're unsure. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the customer experience. And if you focus on the customer experience, sales and marketing can go by the wayside because they're going to do it for you. Just like they always say, a happy client may tell 2 or 3 people, and they'll tell 2 or 3 more. An unpleasant client will probably tell 10 to 15 or 20 people, and they'll spread it like wildfire and tell 50 more. So making that a priority for you is why we have nothing but 5-star reviews on Google. And our customer retention and the way we practice and call our clients back or email them or notations for firmware updates in our scheduler, so that way the client's product's never out of date, that they never run into issues. Our clients are a client for life. They don't just leave the door and then you forget about them. We see a lot of repeat business that way, and we have a lot of referrals from our existing clients, and our new client base comes from just word of mouth. The other events that we do participate in annually would be Naples Motor Fest. It's one of our favorite car shows. We've been a sponsor now for 4 years. We were a title sponsor for the first 3 years, and then this will be our first year that we actually partnered with Porsche of Naples as the presenting sponsor for the whole show, which is beneficial for us. It's the key demographic that we're looking for. It's a luxury and Euro and exotic aftermarket show. And the demographic and clientele there is the demographic and clientele that we're trying to attack our niche and really drive them here into our location. So our brand awareness at that show has grown over the past 3 years to now becoming a partner with Porsche of Naples as a presenting sponsor. Nice part about that is all of the flyers, advertising material, cups, literature, signage, tablecloths, awards, all will have our logo as well as Porsche of Naples logo on it. So when it comes to brand awareness and having our brand sit side by side with a recognizable brand is an easy way for clients to not only start gaining trust in your brand, but if they're unsure on who you are, they're going to see it and they're going to look you up. So our community involvement and recognition that we've received, as far as community involvement, we do our best to once again be boots on the ground, be out there at local events and having our brand exposure be out there. So we attend a lot of cars and coffee events, whether it be at Ferrari of Naples, Naples Porsche, 239 Cars and Coffee. There's a lot of different small venues and small cars and coffee, and a big cult of car gatherings and car followings around here. There's a Naples Classic Car Museum called Rev, which we just ended up doing that 55 Chevy for the curator for. So that community involvement speaks numbers in driving our brand awareness and clients to our location. In terms of recognition, we made the 2022 top 12 retailers, or I wouldn't be here making this video for you guys right now. We were blessed last year to be the 2020 Mobile Electronics Association Retailer of the Year, and we proudly have our trophy on display for all of our clients, which means we got the top 12 and top 50 the same year. One other thing that we contribute to or get involved with as far as events is there's an event called the Best of Naples, which we've taken home gold every year since we've opened. And that is run by our Naples Daily News. We do have a demographic down here that still reads the newspapers, still loves flipping through it and seeing kind of what's hot in Southwest Florida. It's kind of the what's what and the places to go. So being part of that, we ended up taking home the Best of Naples for the past 3 years. And then we actually didn't even add ourselves in. Our clients penciled us in, and we won Best of Bonita Springs as well, which is a corresponding city right between us and Fort Myers. So being based in Naples, just north of us is Bonita Springs. North of Bonita is Fort Myers. Maybe a 30-minute radius. You can get from Naples to Fort Myers. Bonita is just a hop skip, and then Fort Myers right after that. So we always strive to get the best recognition that we can and get our name and our brand out there for clients to see. I know they've done studies where it takes 7 to 10 times of a client seeing your logo or your brand before they start recognizing you or knowing who you are. So making sure that our name and our brand stays relevant and in the line of sight, I guess, of our local demographic is extremely important to us. So our time is limited, especially being a sole proprietor at the moment. I hope to bring on more technicians and a sales crew. But for the time being, I'll take every Sunday that I have to go to. Luckily, a lot of these cars and coffee events are on Sunday. So if I'm not here and working, then I'm out working and pushing our brand and establishing our brand at these events and letting our local demographic know we're here and know we're available. And doing that has paid tenfold to the point where we average maybe between 20 and 30 phone calls a day and close to 8 to 12 walk-ins a day, which has continued to increase year over year. And we know that our brand is growing by we utilize Google Analytics. And I can actually see how many times we've showed up in the search results in Google. How many of those were based off of discovery, which means they were just generally searching for something and you flagged one of those keywords, whether it be car audio near me, or did the client type and search in Devine Concepts and look for you specifically by name? And over the past few months and the past year, I've watched that increase and watched the tables kind of turn from discovery to more to direct clientele. So we may show up in 12,000 searches for the month, and out of those 12,000 searches, 7,000 of them are direct searches looking for us by name, and the rest are discovery. Before, it used to be the exact opposite. They would stumble upon us by accident by looking for a Apple CarPlay installer by me, or backup camera install by me, or car audio install local, or anything to that nature. They were discovering us that way. But now we really focus on our backlinks and positive backlinks and our positive reviews and everything that we can to continue to drive traffic to our brand and that brand awareness. Because once you get the snowball running for it, you've got to keep the momentum behind it. It's not one of those things that you can just kind of start, and once you start seeing the return on it, stop. It's an ongoing process, and if you continue to do it, you'll continue to see traffic come to your door. If you're not doing those things, don't expect them to come beating your door down or your phone to be ringing off the hook. It takes some boots on the ground, and it takes some legwork, and maybe not so much right now with the pandemic and the increase in the 12-volt industry and the increase in demand, but how you work with your clientele now while we have this amazing boom going on is how your brand's going to be perceived and recognized going forward when the bubble pops. And what I mean by that is, don't take the additional revenue and traffic for granted. Still give that tailored experience to every client that walks through your door right now, because they're going to remember that. And once the retail bubble pops, and I hope it doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it doesn't pop and we continue at this trend. But I haven't seen a boom in this industry in the past 20 years anything like what's going on right now. Is it sustainable forever? Probably not. But make the biggest impact on all that traffic that's coming to you right now, because those are going to be your repeat clients in the years to come. When that does slow down and things go back to whatever normal is going to be. Well, that's a wrap here from us here at Devine Concepts. I just wanted to take a moment to thank MEA, Chris Cook, the whole MEA team, all the judges, everybody who supports the industry and the awards and helps us put this stuff together on every year. It's an absolute pleasure to be a part of it. It's an absolute pleasure to get the recognition for what we've done over the years and help us to push to be better, the networking events, and just absolutely everything. So can't wait to see you guys in Vegas. Sorry to all the judges that this was so long, but enjoy it, and we'll see you guys then. Have a great one.